Welcome back to another episode. In this one I'll be playing the Cabal Vanguard, which I'm still not overly confident in how I ended up setting it up. I picked Biotic Focus thinking it would really help with doing additional damage in melee and with my poison strikes, but in most cases I found it doesn't really help. Poison strike itself is actually pretty interesting. You dash forward in a short line, but it says that you do slash through enemies in a line, but I don't think it hits everyone in the line. I think it hits everyone in the departure area and the landing area. I don't think it hits things in between. Either that or it's just very, very finicky about the targets and how you get them in particular. But I am going to give it a go. I'm using the Juggernaut Shield, which increases... yeah, I think it's the Juggernaut Shield, which increases my shield strength and my melee damage. Now, of note, this is the only Vanguard in the game that doesn't restore its shields with its charge ability. It's also the only one that doesn't have Biotic Charge among its skills. But you can see there the... So my basic melee attack teleports me to the target, which I use a lot of the time to position myself. It's doing this again, huh? Yeah, I had an issue with the last game. Oh yeah, that's because I'm in a game with the same host. There's something about this host. I think either his connection is poor or his computer is slow and unable to keep up. But for whatever reason, when I use Poison Strike half the time, it will sort of teleport me back and forth rather than moving me to the destination. Let me see if I can recreate it. There we go. You can see it kind of warping me back and forth, and you can't really function when that happens. And it seems to just happen for an arbitrary amount of time. So I'm not sure at all how to make it stop. But I can still use the melee charge. And that works fairly well. But it's less than ideal. One of the interesting things about this character, like most of the ones that have a lot of target, line dashes rather than targeted dashes, is that you can go through almost all solid cover. Like, you can also go downstairs and things like that. The game won't let you jump off of the map with Poison Strike, but it will allow you to reach new areas. Like, rather than jumping down, I could have Poison Strike, but I'm not confident in this host's connection enough to reliably Poison Strike. But like, I can go through this tank here and wind up somewhere, maybe. God, that's frustrating. It basically rendered this character unplayable for the second half of the game, which was colossally annoying in ways that are difficult to quantify. And yeah, this is unfortunately the same host I was playing with last time, so I'm going to have most of the same issues. But sometimes it doesn't do the post-Poison Strike lag, sometimes it does. But one of the combos that I was focusing on was using heavy melee to teleport me into range of the target, followed by a Poison Strike to move me through them, apply additional damage over time, and disengage from the target. Oftentimes I would try to point it so that Poison Strike would push me through obstructions. Like the landing pad on the snow map is a very good example. You've got the ship in the middle, and you can just kind of Poison Strike around it over and over. And of course, like most melee-oriented characters, Banshees are going to be a nightmare for me. The rest of the Reaper troops, though, I don't have too many problems with. Even Ravagers aren't so bad, because I can dash around and through them so fast they have a difficult time tracking. Also of note, the heavy melee doesn't necessarily position you in front of the target, it kind of positions you randomly. So when you land, you might be in front or to the side or whatever. So this character might actually be good at dealing with guardians using the heavy melee, but I haven't had the opportunity to try it. I don't know. The game doesn't seem to be a bit more responsive than it was before. I don't know. I've gotten a few poison strikes in a row that didn't lag warp me back and forth, which is nice. I like being able to play the game instead of just having to stand there for 10 or 15 seconds. Oh, nope, it's back. Awesome. I know there's a Banshee somewhere. I don't even know where I am relative to the Banshee. You can see it just teleporting me around. Most with bad connections ruin movement-based characters especially. I have to stay mobile because I don't have a whole lot of durability. I'm a Turian, so I do still get the Turian shield and health. And unlike most Turians, the Cabal Vanguard has a roll in the form of their little biotic blink. And you can kind of see the lag warping even just running in a straight line. This host's connection is not great. But let's get brave for a second. And now we have to escort the drone. Alright, so the other ability I didn't really cover much. I wanted to use it as kind of a passive buff, but in practice it seemed to work out better for me to not use it at all and instead just charge more with Poison Strike. But the other ability is Biotic Focus, which is kind of just like a generic stat increase across the board. It increases your damage, it increases your movement speed, it increases your... or it gives you damage reduction, which is essentially an increase to your effective health. It's just kind of like across the board, better at everything. And most of the time I've found when you're doing gunplay, it works as a pretty solid buff. And so you'll notice the blue effect around the character, and you can't really see it outside, but when I get inside, it'll be a bit more clear when the dust clears. You'll be able to see a bit more of the blue, almost like veins around the edge of the screen. There's also, it's worth noting, there's a range on the heavy melee. It's not nearly as long range as Biotic Charge, for example, but it is fairly generous with range as long as you've got the target in the crosshairs. That's the important part, is you have to get the targeting bracket on the target first, and then you can heavy melee them, and it'll teleport you toward them. Swarmers are also really easy for this character to clean up because they kind of travel in a bunch, and it'll just kill the whole pile in one go. Ooh, shit. I don't even know where I am or what I'm doing. Who even knows what's going on these days? But so far so good. A little bit of lag warping, but it's not nearly as bad as it was last game, although I think last game it was getting worse as the game goes on. But we were also fighting against Geth. I'm not sure how much that actually affects things or how optimized characters and effects are, things like that. But you can see the damage that this character puts out. That Ravager was already partially killed when I started on him, but you can see it would only take a couple of charges to kill a Ravager from full. I don't even know where I am. Alright. We're not going too terribly though. And the Biotic Blink from the Cabal Vanguard covers a pretty good distance too. So if you need to cover some ground to get away from enemies. And because it's a line-based effect, you can also, if I can get the game to cooperate, get through cover with it as well. But yeah, see, I don't even know. No one was kind of me. That wasn't really latency or anything. I just missed. But when it starts warping you back and forth, it gets very hard to aim. Because I'm never really certain which side I'm on, because it kind of behaves like I'm on both. Bugs. And of course the heavy melee just ignores the armor that the Marauders give to husks. I just don't have to pay attention to it at all. And that was a full Ravager down, and I think, what, 2 attacks and 2 poison strikes? It is a pretty brutal character. It's just unfortunate that I'm having a difficult time being able to really play it correctly, but that's it. I've been struggling with this character in general. The lack of refilling barriers combined with the kind of all-in nature is difficult. I feel like for the way that I was intending to play this character, almost any other Vanguard would have worked better. But there you can see the dashing through cover. It's also very easy to get staggered while you're preparing your heavy melee, which doesn't improve the situation either. Fortunately though, it's really easy for me to just charge through the husks. They don't even matter. They're not people. Now let's see. Let's actually see this time. Yeah, someone else is fighting me too. The host is using an ability called Shadow Strike that actually does quite a bit of damage too. But there you see it. I swear I went through that husk twice. Like, not exactly in a line, but very, very close. Close enough that I think it would have counted with just about any other power. But with the poison strike, I didn't. Didn't hit him at all. Yeah, I got nothing for that. You can kill the Banshee to cancel her sync kills, but the only way I would have been able to do that is if I hit it with a rocket or a missile, and it takes long enough to draw the missile but I would not have had time. Not an ideal use of missiles, but this TG Gecko guy was in the games previously, and he's rather solid. Wanted to try and help keep him alive. And there you can see it did the reload animation twice. This weapon normally kicks like a monster. The recoil is pretty vicious, but one of the things Turians get as just their species thing is a ton of weapon stability, which allows you to use things like the Argus and the Hornet, which normally have a ton of recoil, and you can use them almost on cooldown without having to correct too much. It actually works out pretty well. Especially with fuck. Especially with the I've also got the stability mod on the weapon itself, which of course only improves my ability to keep the cursor on the target. And I'm not great with weapons to begin with, but there are definitely things that help out with that quite a bit. And you can see the colossal amount of lag working at this point. Like, it's not even charging in the direction I'm looking. That's how bad it's gotten. And I swear it's this host. I've played several games with this character, and it wasn't until this host that I had this problem. And you know, the game has been in developmental pause for years, so it's not like a patch came out. I mean, I'm quite certain it's just this host's connection. But we won. That was round 10. It's good enough. I'm gonna sit back here and defend. And I'm saying kill. Alright, well that simplifies that. I don't think I'm going to make you sit here and watch the rest of this, or, well, even record it. I can't really make you do anything. But, thanks for watching, and I hope that gave you at least kind of a taste of how to play this. But, like I said, I'm not confident in my ability to begin with, and was lagging quite a bit during this game and causing the Poison Strike to behave very oddly. But, that said, I still hope you enjoyed and kind of got some idea how I play the Cabal Vanguard at least. Have a good one, and thank you for watching.